The case of Roe v. Wade, 1973. Does the Constitution recognize a woman's right to terminate her pregnancy by abortion? Jane Roe, pseudonym for Norma McCorvey, was a Texas woman seeking an abortion, while Henry Wade was the district attorney of Dallas County, Texas. The Texas law criminalized abortion except to save the mother's life. Roe, who was pregnant, could not get an abortion and so filed a lawsuit claiming that the Texas statute violated her constitutional rights. This case was brought before the U.S. Supreme Court, and the legal question was whether the Constitution recognizes a woman's right to terminate her pregnancy by abortion. The Supreme Court held 7-2 in favor of Roe that the right to privacy, found in the Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment, is broad enough to encompass a woman's decision whether or not to terminate her pregnancy. The court did not find a specific mention of abortion in the Constitution. However, it reasoned that a broader right to privacy, previously recognized in Griswold v. Connecticut, 1965, protected a woman's reproductive choices. The court balanced a woman's right with the state's interest in 1. Protecting maternal health. 2. Protecting potential human life. So it created the trimester system. First trimester. Woman's right to abortion is absolute. The state cannot interfere. Second trimester. State may regulate in ways related to maternal health. Third trimester. State may prohibit abortions except when necessary to preserve the woman's life or health. This ruling invalidated many state laws banning or heavily restricting abortion. It also legalized abortion nationwide within the framework. This ruling also became a foundational precedent for reproductive rights in the U.S. and sparked decades of political, legal, and moral debate. Fast forward to the year 2022, the case of Dobbs v. Jackson Women's Health Organization revisited this long debate on reproductive rights. In this case, a new law was passed in Mississippi, Gestational Age Act, 2018, banning abortion after 15 weeks of pregnancy, even before fetal viability, which is 24 weeks. Jackson Women's Health Organization, the last abortion clinic in Mississippi, initiated the case against Thomas Dobbs, Mississippi State Health Officer. Jackson Women's Health argued the law violated the decisions in Roe v. Wade and Planned Parenthood v. Casey, 1992, both of which protected abortion before viability. The legal question before the Supreme Court was whether there is a constitutional right to abortion under the 14th Amendment. The Supreme Court overruled Roe v. Wade and Casey, ruling 6-3, holding that the Constitution does not confer a right to abortion. The majority opinion was by Justice Alito, stating that Roe was egregiously wrong from the start, that the Constitution makes no reference to abortion, and such a right is not deeply rooted in the nation's history and traditions. He opined that rights not explicitly stated must be implicit in the concept of ordered liberty, which abortion did not qualify. The court therefore decided that individual states should be allowed to legislate on abortion. Justices Breyer, Sotomayor, Kagan dissent by arguing that the decision endangers women's rights and health, undermines precedent, and removes a deeply personal freedom. In conclusion, the decision in Dobbs v. Jackson Women's Health Organization overturned Roe v. Wade, ending federal constitutional protection of abortion rights. It allowed states to either ban abortion outright or set their own limits. This triggered immediate abortion bans in over a dozen states and sparked global legal and human rights debates. This content reflects general legal principles and may not apply in your jurisdiction. It is for informational purposes only and does not constitute legal advice. Do consult a qualified lawyer for legal advice specific to your situation.